Moja Mbili Tatu. One, two, three. I don't see myself. Do you all see me? Well, here we go. Mambo Team Africa Worldwide. Habari ya Asabui, Habari ya Mchana, Habari ya Gioni. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, I will have to admit that oh there we go. I apologize. I'm really slipping right now. I haven't uploaded anything or done a live in so long. I forgot to turn my camera shutter back on. But I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. That is Habari Asabui, Habari Zamchana, Habari Zajioni, or Ya, depending on the accent. Okay, well, I will admit that the title is a little bit of clickbait. I hate clickbait, but um, some people might think I'm talking about my personal name, but I'm talking about the name of the channel. The name of the channel has gone from Team Africa Worldwide to Kiswahili Worldwide to Global African Progress, and it's probably flip-flopped a few times, and now it's back to Kiswahili Worldwide, but no more name changes. Even if I feel like I'm being shadow banned or whatever, no more name changes. I am focused and I'm committed to this name of the channel, Kiswahili Worldwide. That doesn't mean that language learning will be on the topic of this channel. I will still talk about current events and politics and history and religion from an Afrocentric perspective. But I just want to be focused on my language learning, and as I've done before, I invite you, Team Africa Worldwide, to come with me on this journey of learning African language, a Bantu language. For all of the people that wants to say that Kiswahili is a pigeon of Arabic, it is not. All languages have influence from other languages, all languages, so just because there are a lot of loan words um, in one language that come from another language doesn't make them the same language. Uh, People who are native um, Swahili speakers, um, they can't communicate with people who are native Arabic speakers, and people who are native Arabic speakers cannot communicate with people who are native Kiswahili speakers. It's just like with English. There are a lot of words in English that come from French, but can the majority of you who are native English speakers speak French? No. So I want to put that to bed. Kiswahili is the most spoken language, uh, African language on the continent. I mean, some may debate that Arabic is an African language, and I will argue that Arabic is derived from African languages, but it's not an African language. And the people who are known as the Arabs are uh, not an African people. Um, Maybe they used to be, you know, Black Arabia. I read the book. Um, However, that was an extremely long time ago. Extremely long time ago. I'm not talking about a few hundred years. We're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. So the most spoken African language in Africa is Kiswahili. It is the only African language that is recognized as a working language by the African Union. Um, this is the language that is spread out amongst the most countries. Tanzania is known as the home of Kiswahili, or even more so, the island of Zanzibar, which is a part of Tanzania. Also is widely spoken in Kenya, almost practically everybody speaks both English and Kiswahili in Kenya. Some people in Uganda, some people in Somalia. In fact, I saw a video the other day that said that Somalia is actually adding Kiswahili to its school curriculum, which is great. People in the Congo speak it, some on the east coast of eastern border area of Congo. People speak Kiswahili, some people in Rwanda. Um, um, Also, I believe Malawi. And then there's, I always forgot to say this country, I think it's called Koromos. That language is the dialect of Kiswahili. So it's very beneficial to learn this language. And, I hope that every African American would make it their business to visit the continent of Africa at least one time if you identify as African American. If you don't identify as African American, then I'm not talking to you, and this channel isn't for you. And I ask that you please be gone. Um, and I don't mean people from other cultures like Eurasians, Europeans, and Asians aren't welcome to watch. You're able to watch. I'm talking about people who I would identify as African American who are anti-African. This channel is not for you. Please go to your channel for the people who want to pretend to be whatever you pretend to be. Um, and what else would I say about this? Just more information about Kiswahili. It is very um, easy to learn for um, people who are native English speakers. Not to say that language learning in general is easy, because it's not. But if you were to choose an African language amongst all of the African languages, which there are over 1,000, um, it would be the easiest. Not saying that it would be easy to learn the language, but it would be the easiest amongst the languages to learn, due to it's not a tonal language. And a lot of the logic is very similar to English. And if you study Spanish, some of the logic is related to Spanish. Like, for example, how in Spanish they say the object first and the adjective second. It's the same way in Kiswahili. So we would say a big boy in English. They would say Mvulana Mkubwa, which would mean boy big in Kiswahili, which is the same way, that they do things in Spanish. So, what else? Like I say, it's most people um, don't really know the true history of, you know, African migrations is not taught to us. There's really no such thing as the East African and the West African, because these people have been going back and forth, crisscrossing the continent for hundreds of thousands of years. They will tell you that some people, um, originate only in West Africa. But how is that possible if all of humanity comes from East Africa? They couldn't have been in West Africa the whole time. That's impossible. Um, so um, even before, people were being kidnapped in the areas now known as Nigeria and Ghana and Sierra Leone and Senegal and these areas. Prior to that, slave trade actually started in the Congo Kingdom, um, in the Angolan Kingdom. So Angola and Congo, in that area, which is known as the Bantus area, that's where the trade of human beings to the Americas has started from there. And of course, like a lot of people from Angola went to Brazil, because it's straight across the ocean. And then a lot of people from Angola, Congo, went to um, the North America. So for those who have heard of the Gullah Geechee people, It said that Gullah probably is derived from the word Angola or Angola. Okay, so that being said, uh, we are Bantus, and or at least part Bantu. Okay, and so with Kiswahili being um, basically the ultimate Bantu language, um, it's like I believe I could be wrong, but I believe it's the newest of the Bantu languages, and it's a amalgamation of various Bantu languages. So, and by us being, meaning African Americans, being uh, Bantu or part Bantu, um, to put it short, I actually that's depending on how far you want to go back. I actually believe that we are now Valley people, but that's a whole different discussion. Um, that means that Kiswahili is our language. Is our language. We lost our language. We can reclaim this one. So even if you don't plan on taking that pilgrimage to the continent, which I hope that you would decide to do that, even if you don't, we as African Americans can choose to learn and speak Kiswahili amongst one another, uh, in North America, in the United States. So don't think that learning this language could ever be a waste of time. It could ever be other than beneficial. Believe me, knowing the language other than the language of the people who kidnapped and brutalized your ancestors is extremely empowering. You know, um, and it teaches you to think outside the box too. When you speak more than one language, you see the world in more than one way, just because of the culture that is behind words and the grammatical structures that um, bring those words together to form language. So definitely, I invite you. I plead with you to take this journey with me. I first started learning Kiswahili uh, in 2018 when I made my first trip to Africa. I went to Mombasa, Kenya, for my 48th birthday, I believe. Um, and so that was a little while ago. I've been to the continent 11 times. Um, since then, my shortest trip was 4 days on ground, and my longest trip was 1 year. I'm integrated into East African society. My wife is a continental African, and we have two children. Uh, so they're both. Um, and so I think I have a little bit based on that background I just gave you. I think I have a little bit to offer as far as providing education and information to people concerning the continent and specifically the eastern coast of the continent, that I could share with people who may not know and want to know. I can be somewhat of a cheat code because it takes a while to build up a knowledge base on any topic, and so a lot of times you don't even realize how much you've learned until you think back and compare yourself to your start point. Yeah, so definitely. So Kiswahili Worldwide is back. I look forward to uploading new content, and I look forward to your comments and your suggestions and your advice. With that being said, uh, Asante Sana for watching, which means thank you for watching, and Kwaheri Kwasasa, which means goodbye for now.